There we go. All right. Yeah. So before we get into anything else, January 10th and 11th, I'll put a link to it down below with the tickets. The LA Fit Expo is coming back around. So just the biggest congregation of not only regular kind of fitness kind of guys, but just bodybuilder nuts that you can really come and watch. I mean, it's there's a couple of big ones. Obviously, the Olympia Expo, huge. Arnold Expo, massive, which I'm a little partial to, of course, because for every other expo, it's a big trip. It's like, all right, we're blocking off here to here. Let's go make this thing happen. With the Arnold, it's like, all right, we got a 30-minute drive, and that's all. But yeah, we'll be there. So if you've never been to an expo like that before and you're into the gym at least a little bit, I would highly recommend it. Probably a little more fun if you can gather a group of guys with you, but even just going to watch and walk around on your own is still sweet, because there's nothing like seeing some of these guys in person rather than just kind of on your phone. And I think it's kind of important to come to these at least every so often, because how I feel about it is hype, like generalized across the board, hype for the gym and hype for just like working out, bodybuilding or whatever. It comes in waves. I like to think that my own personal hype is pretty even. I always want to get after it. But I can tell, after like Chris going into his last Olympia win, insane. Honestly, like I'm sure the metrics would even show that. Like if you somehow looked up the keywords for bodybuilding and fitness right around last October, or I guess last October, huge, right? But the problem with that generalized hype is it can rise and it can crash. It goes back and forth. I personally believe that the whole COVID era of everyone having a bit more free time, they could spend a little bit more time in the gym, was a gradual like raising the bar of how much interest there was in fitness in the gym in general. Partially because people said, okay, I should take my health more seriously, or I just want to get in shape, or maybe I haven't had the time to do it, whatever. There's like a million different reasons. But I think we've kind of seen a market correction where some of that hype has kind of died down. But the way I think about it is every expo, every bodybuilding show, or anything in between is like a check-in point. And I've never left an expo less excited than I came to one, just from getting to see everybody, and not even doing anything, just like walking around, maybe getting to talk to some guys. Like, it's just insane, and I can't really do it justice just from words, but that's how I feel about it. Like when we leaving Vegas after Chris won the sixth Olympia title, or even this year, watching Ramon finally win. I mean, every time you get to see something like that, especially in person, like watching it on your phone is not the same thing. I feel like across the freaking room, everybody kind of had this extra kind of gas put in their fire where it's like, all right, let's get freaking real, because they get to see somebody achieve something, or at least just do something which took a long time to kind of prep for. I mean, like legit, I don't know how long it took for Ramon to get lean. He never gets too like soft in the off season or anything, but it's a pretty big time commitment, and the hustle side of things, like sitting in, I mean, this morning so it's 7:45, so I got up at like 5:30, but I didn't, this was not a productive morning. Like I just played on my phone for a little while, but still got up extra early. I don't want to do a fasted workout. I still want to have something in my system. So I had 2 rice cakes and 2.5 ounces of ground beef. So not a ton, like not a big meal, but just enough. That there's really no glory. There's no glory. There's no like flex from sitting and eating a little takeout bowl of ground beef and then 2 rice cakes on the side. I didn't just, that wasn't it. I put some low sugar barbecue sauce on the ground beef and some sugar-free syrup, or some sugar-free jelly on the rice cakes. 8 grams of carbs worth. But still, I mean, it's just, that's not the flashy part. The part that isn't flashy is the part that isn't interesting. It's not motivational. I mean, not to the general public at least. So that's the stuff that I want to kind of focus on. So every expo, like come this January too. I mean, I'll be a little bit leaner by then. Right? It's people are gonna leave excited, but it's easy to be super excited about the gym and bodybuilding or like getting lean or doing a fat loss transformation or anything like that when you're there in the moment with all these freaking, just beasts who are doing the same thing right there in person. Maybe guys who you've like seriously looked up to. Like, it's easy to be excited about it then. But then everybody either drives home, they get on a plane back home, they get back into their regular routine. They got to sit and eat a little bowl of oatmeal, and it's not really cool. And that hype can kind of die down. So I like to think that I keep mine at a steady baseline no matter what. Because the way that I think about it is, every time there's an expo, every time there's like a bodybuilding show or anything, like, I want to be able to be a different guy than before. Like, that's not the point, but that's at least another angle that kind of gets me excited about it. So if you're going to be in the area, I would certainly recommend coming to check it out. Plus, every expo you get to leave with like 1 million just free energy drinks and like pre-workout samples of whatever all these companies that are kind of handing out. So you can definitely get some stuff. I remember when I went in a group 3 Arnolds ago, because this past Arnold I competed. The Arnold before that was the first one that there was ever like a booth at, and then the one before that was the first expo I'd ever been to. So after that first one, we all drove down as a group of, it was like 5 of us, 5 or 4 of us or so, and at the end we all kind of conglomerated, and one guy had a full like duffel bag of freaking drinks. I didn't care at the time because I was doing caffeine capsules for my cardio. So instead of like drinking a whole thing, for whatever reason, I really liked the fact that I could just take a caffeine capsule. Like, something about that was really cool for me. But either way, if you can make it, I would highly recommend it. I can say you probably would not regret it. That's for sure. So until then, plan for this morning's lift is going to be arms. So tries, buys. I might do a little bit of forearm, maybe a teensy little bit of shoulders, just a little bit, and then 30 minutes of cardio afterward. So nothing wild, but I want to make the lift, or I want to end the lift as pumped as possible. That's kind of my metric. And some guys are gonna, some guys dispute that. They'll. This is kind of a classic line. It's, just because you're pumped doesn't mean it was a good lift, which I could agree with. Rock, like, have you ever rock climbed before? It's been a while, but if you ever do, you're gonna get a crazy forearm pump just from like constantly holding, like squeezing things. Do I think you just really grew your forearms and gave it a really like stimulating lift? Maybe not. You worked them a little bit, but that doesn't mean you really hit them. But if you really hit them, you're gonna be pumped. So if I'm off season and I'm bending over the sink doing dishes and I get a lower back pump, that doesn't mean my lower back is now suddenly growing. So yeah, that argument's legit, right? Just because you're pumped doesn't mean it was good. But if it was good, I think you're gonna be pumped. And it just kind of keeps the lift moving well, because what am I supposed to do? Like, just do one set, wait 5 minutes, do another set, wait 5 minutes? No, I don't understand the hate on it, for sure. The way that I look at it, at least based on all of the lifts that I've had so far and all of the progress that all of those lifts have gotten me, the better the pump is consistently, the better the lifts, the better my progress. I think it's a pretty decent goal, So yeah, of course you've got your regular metrics of, okay, what weight am I doing? Am I doing all these sets to failure? Am I doing different kinds of sets? Like, am I doing a good, like, light squeezing set and maybe more of like a burning set, or, whatever. as long as the workout is well varied, you know, and you hit everything in a good chunk of ways, and you end up pumped, I think you're good, right? I think that's all there is freaking to it. So, nothing else to say there. How about we just get this freaking arm day started? All right, some of this workout is going to change, and some of it's going to stay the same from what I've been doing. The last few arm days have been light-ish squeezing, holding curls to start, which is good. And I'm still going to do that for tries. Like, I'm going to start with a rope back there. And today's just going to be a set of curls, rest a moment, set of push downs, back and forth until fully pumped. But instead of starting with light squeezing stuff for biceps, let's do just an actual good heavy set. I think the 70s are above the weight limit, right? Like when I'm dieting, you know, I'm not in the freaking Autobahn, right? There's a limit. I'm going to hurt myself if I go too crazy. Like if I tried to grab the hundreds right now, sure, I could warm up. I don't know, maybe move it. Odds are I'm just going to tweak my forearm, pull. It's just totally stupid. But I still want to go decently heavy and do a hard, heavy set. So I think the sweet spot is right there at the 60s. And I'm going to do light squeezing stuff later to change it up. But let's start right here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, that was good. I probably could have gone a little heavier. And I lost count after rep number 10-ish. That was a good starter. But let's go to a push down. Keep the momentum up. Nothing crazy. And honestly, with the rope, even in an off season when I'm stronger, I'm not even going so heavy. Because, like, what's the point? You know? Like, if I'm sitting here doing the rope, if I try to do the stack, which, sure, I can move it for a few, but it would just be gross. Like, and I wouldn't even get the actual benefit of the rope, which is this separating force and squeeze at the bottom, right? So I'm going to do a heavy set, but it'll be later. This is more like, you know, you don't need to put so much force into a pen as you do a hammer to get the intended result of the tool, if you follow me. But let's get started. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Back to a curl. Let's do 3 of these. 3 curls, 3 push downs with a rope, and then pick a new set. I think that'll be a good approach. Oh, shit. All right. I'll go back to the 60s for the last one, and then it'll be good. So let's go back to a curl, or to a rope. What am I saying? Oh, yeah. Back to the 60s, and then we'll finish with one more. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's move on. All right, a preacher will be good next. So, lightish weight. This is actually the same amount of weight as those rope extensions. So not a ton, and same logic. If I went too heavy, I'd miss the point of the actual squeeze and burn at the top. So, you know, honestly, I feel like the squeeze is getting almost no love. Whenever we're talking about training, it's always stretch, man. Make sure your range of motion is awesome. Which, yeah, of course. I think I've seen better tricep gains because I've actually gotten better at really getting deep into the movement rather than just bouncing around down here at the bottom. So I'm not saying that's not true. But the squeeze, I mean, I think people can have two completely different workouts if one guy really squeezes it at the top, or if he's doing leg extensions and at the top of every rep gives it a little bit extra. That's going to add up. Sure, after 2 lifts, no difference. After 2 months, after 2 years, you know, I think so. So, all that's to say is, you know, put your freaking mind into each rep, at least as much as you can. So, let me get a song going so I can do that too. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna come back to this, but let's go to a push down over there. Let's get the reverse pullover push down. Pretty much just a straight up heavy set, you know, nothing super special here. All right. Yeah, one more of those will feel good. So there's nothing like super special about this one, but something about the strength curve. It's got a good squeeze at the bottom, even though it's not a rope, it's just a straight ass bar. But back to the preacher. All right. Yeah. 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 Okay. Come on. Okay. Okay. Back to the push down. I think we're almost done. One more combo finisher. That'll be all. Yeah, one more. There. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's go do a cable back and forth finisher. And then that'll be all. This is a good lift, but we'll let the pump do the talking. So for the finisher, I'm just gonna bust out some moderate weight pushdowns, 15 something reps, not even necessarily to failure, just to get a little extra blood in the area. Same thing with the 30s, just a little extra something. Then we can pose down. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. Let's kill the lights. There we go. All right. It's a little cold. It's a little brisk, but it's hard to beat natural lighting for a pose down. That is for freaking sure. So, at the cost of a little bit of chipperness, that is freaking cool with me. But let's see how we're looking. So that was what? 3 rounds, then 2, then 1, then a finisher? Or 2, then... I can't remember. I'm sure... I'll look through the clips once we're in the car. Or before we're in the car, so I kind of remember how the workout went. But not really much need at the moment. But shit, man. I mean, even just sitting, no flex, no nothing. Obviously, it's not to the same degree. But there's a video of Kevin Levrone just in fucking pants, you know, walking around like a beast. Me doing like a lat spread is probably as big as his lats were just standing, relaxed, walking. Like when he spun around it, like it's just a cool shot. So that's probably my favorite part about posing, is you can kind of see a little resemblance with some beasts. You know, sure, it's not the same. Like when I hit a front lat spread with a vacuum, it's not as crazy as the infamous Lee Priest lat spread. But for me, you know, it's just fun to see. But let's start from the backside. Yeah, I definitely prefer how my back looks when I'm leaner, unpumped, because honestly, when you get pumped up, you start to lose detail. Your arms are such a simple muscle, just meat on this side, that it makes them cooler to be bigger and inflated. But stuff like your back, like unpumped, if you start looking a little leaner and you got some more cuts, that's where you really start to see the interesting parts. I couldn't even freaking hold the vacuum. I gotta try that one more time. Oh my goodness. Midsection, gradually getting leaner and leaner. So the more that this pinchable layer of skin and subsequent body fat thins out, the more interesting detail and grain, even a little bit of vein, will start to kind of pop out around this whole area. And especially in here, this upper corner, that's where stuff starts getting pretty interesting. But all right, the dry air is making me even more out of breath. But no, this is good. So for me to feel like this kind of dry, sort of lean look this far out, at my pace of like increasing leanness, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. So now all I've got is 30 minutes on the bike, and then we can have a little post-lift epilogue in the car. But let me get a few more facing the opposite way. Come on. There we go. I mean, even no flexing at all, just like posting up. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. It's been a while. I feel like the last 6 months, or even just right after the show, I instantly just ate a bunch of junk because I want to, I hadn't had it for so long. So it feels good to be lean again, that's for sure. And then one thing that I haven't really talked about, shoulders. The leaner I get, and I don't know if it's just like a me thing, because sometimes your like grain or insertions or whatever is just genetic, but the leaner I get, the more interesting that my shoulders get as well. Like all this like freaking lines and hardness. Like I'm excited to see more of that, that's for sure. Actually, let me hit one more, a little something. Okay, no more posing. Let's get in the car, but for me, let's go do some cardio. Yeah, all right. Now we're cooking. That was good. That was a good arm day. I was getting excited about that lift, which obviously, you should have a certain amount of energy, but today especially, at least, relative to my baseline over the last few weeks, I was feeling pretty good. So I think the morning lifts are basically here to stay. I think it's just a nicer routine for me as I'm dieting, because the way I look at it, and I would certainly love some input if you disagree, but in an off season, if I'm trying to grow, then I want to exert as much energy as possible in the most concentrated form in a lift. So I want to eat 5 full meals beforehand, maybe take a freaking nap, wake up. Like a good pre-workout setup in an off season for me is obviously big breakfast, cardio, medium lunch. So I guess only 3 big meals is good before training. Breakfast, late breakfast, lunchish or something. And then after that last one, which would be pretty big, basically, going into a food coma for a minute, just hour and a half nap, let everything kind of digest, move its way through. Just because you eat food and it's in your system doesn't mean you can use it. It's going to, kind of just sit in there for like an hour pretty much, So then train. Hit the gym, go freaking crazy, full of carbs, like as carved up as I can get, go nuts. And also I'm super strong when I'm in the off season. I got a bunch of food in my system. I'm full, sweating until I'm like drenched. It's nice. But dieting down, the training it's got a different kind of intensity, Like obviously I still want to bring it, but it's not so much objective metrics in the dieting phase. It's a little more so like subjective. Like for me, a hard set in the off season, I'm trying to get, use heavier weights for more reps. Like even a light set, I still want to make it a little heavier than I did before and, get a really good squeeze, kind of progressively overload. But dieting, I'm not getting any bigger or stronger. I'm only maintaining the size that I have underneath. Some might say, oh, well, you can grow into a diet. No, that's at least not how I see it. In my mind, I grow muscle and put on body fat when I'm eating a lot of food, and I burn body fat and try to maintain my muscle as I get leaner. So if that's the case, for me to wait until later in the day to lift doesn't really give me that benefit of like feeling really full. Sure it might, but I kind of feel like I'd rather get the lift done early in the morning or earlier, and then use the rest of the day to kind of refuel, start kind of slowing down my whole system, and then get a really good night's rest, and then lift in the morning. Which I'm, in a way, that kind of just treats all the meals that I eat later at night as like the pre-workout meal, because then I just lift in the morning after, going to sleep. So if you've got a completely different take, just and you can kind of explain why you say like a morning workout when dieting is like total trash, I really would love to hear the reasoning. But I've been liking it, and then it makes the cardio session in the morning kind of that much easier because I'm already like amped from the lift. And the night cardio, that's like nothing. 30 minutes on the bike, moderate difficulty, 10 calories per minute. Anybody could do that. It's you just sit and play on your phone. I can almost guarantee every freaking man, woman, and child on the planet, or maybe not the planet per se, but at least stateside, this basic kind of demographic, 3 hours, 4 hours on their phone, probably 5, 8. I've seen some pretty I've seen some of my screen times. I would never post it because personally I'm kind of ashamed of how many hours I just sit doing nothing. I'm trying to work on that. But you're already sitting, to add the cardio, it's really the most unintrusive thing that you can add. Like when I talk about the essentially the 3 pillars of lifting, you've got the training session itself, cardio, which kind of can count as in tandem with the training, but whatever, we'll count it as a separate thing, and dieting. Well, dieting is like a whole day thing, so that's a big one. You don't get much out of like half dieting. Like you kind of got to be all the way in. The training, well, shit, man, training's kind of hard too. It's a skill. You need to learn it and get better at it and practice reps, get stronger. Kind of just get used to that effort. But the cardio, it's mindless. There's no serious effort. There's no skill. Difficulty 10, timer 30 minutes. Playing my phone and pedal. It's nothing. And I can almost, maybe not guarantee, but I'm sure a lot of you guys have a piece of cardio equipment in your basement, in your parents' basement, wherever, just being used as a rack for clothes or like storage. It's the only reason people aren't doing cardio is it's not because X, Y, Z. It's because they just don't want to do it. And the cardio has a really big impact. Like if I did no cardio, I'd have a much harder time losing body fat during this dieting phase, like substantially so, you know, because I'm doing a full day of eating today, so I'll get that posted tomorrow morning. But I was just kind of really getting into like, I got to burn this much calories a day and only eat this much. You know, I need there to be a gap in here so I start burning my body fat. And I can raise this energy burning bar a good chunk higher by doing the cardio, you know? And it's not running, like it's not doing laps. Like you're not gonna catch me on a jog. But even just sitting on the bike, low difficulty, it makes a difference. It really does make a substantial difference. And if you want, right, to be different, like if you don't want to get the exact same results as everybody else, then do what nobody else is doing. Nobody does their cardio. Honestly, in the percentage of people that work out consistently, like regulars, I'm not even talking people who kind of go every few weeks. I'm saying regulars, 10% do their cardio. And that's generous. 10% is generous. Which, whatever, it's your routine. It's not mine. You do whatever the hell you want. But if you want to be in that 10%, the barrier to entry is not that high. Is all I'm trying to say. You know, but I'm not going to harp on it for too long. You already, my stance on cardio is already well known. But yeah, now all I got to do is go home, pop a squat in the desk, edit this thing together, and then I've got meal number basically 2.5 to kind of do a little breakdown on in a couple hours. I did a post-workout meal in the gym, so even it'll be a full day of eating, but it's just not a lot of eating. You know, like the full day of eatings in an off season are a little more interesting, just because there's more stuff. You know, plus I can kind of, you know, slip a little bit of junk and treats in there too. But dieting down, it really does get a bit stricter. You know, I add some little somethings, you know, in there just to make it a bit more like enjoyable for me. But it's just not so flashy. But I'll have that ready tomorrow. That'll be an early upload. I'll make sure that's like a 9 a.m. Maybe I'll make it like a premiere where it's like, all right, it's going live at 9 or something like that. But either way, I'm gonna go home, get some food in my system in a little bit, and then just enjoy the freaking cold weather. Enjoy it, you know, from inside looking out, but you know, still kind of enjoy it. I hope it gets a bit snowier over the next few days. But only a couple more weeks till Christmas, so hopefully that's not making you guys slack off too much. It's kind of a theme, you know, come winter, come December, it's either lock in or it's the holidays, man, I'm chilling. I don't work out during the holidays, bro. Come on, it's relaxing time, you know. So I guess you decide which of those two kind of mindsets you want to fall into. But either way, I'll see you for a full day of eating tomorrow.